Hello, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about research peptides and how to reconstitute them. So over here I have the actual product, which is tirzepatide 10 milligram. That's what we're doing today. And then if you don't have any research supplies to do this, all of this right here is everything you'll need for about a month for $5. Okay, it's going to be your alcohol prep pads, the needle. We're going to put this together in a second, that you need to add water to the tirzepatide. And then as you research throughout the month, these are the syringes that will be used. So just for today's purposes, everything we need today I'm going to put out on the table, so whenever you get your order you're going to know what you're going to need to use. So this is for week by week, so we're going to take this out of here, and this is all we're going to need today. Okay, it's going to be very simple. And right here I have tirzepatide 10 milligram. It's in lyophilized form, so you can kind of see that it's a powder. Okay, and sometimes it'll even float. It's like a puck shape in there. And lyophilized just means it's freeze dried. Okay, so this can be stored in your freezer for years, and whenever you're ready to pull it out and research, it will be ready for you. Okay, it's going to last a long time. That's a perk of research peptides. You can get tirzepatide, semaglutide, retatrutide, any other peptide you venture into researching. If it's in lyophilized freeze-dried form like this, you can save it in the freezer for years. Okay, so you never have to be without things you want to research. And when you are ready to use it, this is everything you're going to need. Okay, this is bacteriostatic water. You're going to add this into the freeze-dried powder to make it into liquid form and ready to research. Okay, it's very simple. And in that research supplies package for $5 that I showed you, I'm going to give you 3 milliliters of bacteriostatic water. We call it back water for short. It is a sterile water that has a little bit of benzyl alcohol in it, so it makes it so that bacteria can't grow into the liquid form of any peptide you add it to, and it makes it okay for several uses, so you can go back week after week and pull from the vial to research, whereas like regular sterile water is only good for one-time use. But this right here makes it so after you reconstitute it, which means you're turning it into liquid form over here, you can keep it in the fridge for, you know, at least a month, and per your risk tolerance, I mean really the liquid form is going to last in the refrigerator for, you could do 2-3 months, but that is the freedom of all this, is you decide how long you want to use something to research it for. But technically, you know, I'm sure people will hear 28 days is the longest you want to keep something, you know, about a month, a liquid form of any peptide in the fridge, you know, once you add water to it and reconstitute it. So it's all up to you. You can read more information and decide what's good for you. I'm comfortable with a couple months at a time of a liquid vial in the fridge. Had no problem with that at all. There's been no noticeable deterioration of the peptides. So yeah, it's all up to you. But we're going to go ahead and show you how to reconstitute a research peptide. So 10 milligrams of tirzepatide. Like I said, I provide 3 milliliters. This is liquid, so 3 milliliters of back water. But for easy dosing, especially with low research doses, you're going to want to add 1 milliliter of back water per 10 milligrams of any peptide. So I'm going to take 1 milliliter out of the back water and put it into the 10 milligram vial of tirzepatide. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this is what we're going to use to get the water out of the vial and put it into the Tirz vial. So go ahead and open these two things. Okay, so we have the barrel here and then the syringe here. And then just throw away supplies as you go if you want. Keep everything nice and clean. So what we're going to do is just screw the syringe onto the barrel. Simple as that. Okay. Now, you're going to now use this alcohol prep pad to keep everything clean. Take the cap off of the terzepatide. Right now this 10 milligram is green capped. They will come in different cap colors, okay? You just have to take it off. Some of them can be a little hard to pop off, but they do just pop off. Just pull it off. Now, take your alcohol prep pad and you're going to wipe off the lids of both the water and the terzepatide powder. Okay, so keep everything nice and clean and sterile. Now, we're going to use this syringe to take 1 milliliter. Okay, so if you look, it's very simple. It's got numbers on it. You're going to pull it to the 1, and then we're going to add it to this terzepatide powder, and it's going to make a liquid, and it's going to be ready for researching. So you just, and now this is the only thing you use this big needle for, is to get this bacteriostatic water out and put it in the terzepatide powder. Okay, so just like so. This isn't the best angle, but you can get the idea of, you're just going to pull until it reaches the 1. Okay, I'm just going to take it like this. You're going to want to do it straight up, upside down, you know, the vial upside down, so you can get the liquid straight out of it. Sometimes I'll pull a little bit past the 1 and then push up just to make sure there's no air inside my syringe. Okay, and then you just pull the vial right off of there. Now I have taken 1 milliliter of backwater and put it in this syringe. Now it's time to put it inside the terzepatide powder. And this is a vacuum sealed self-healing vial, so anytime that you puncture the top of this, that gray area, it's just going to close again. Okay, so this is good for multi-use, and it's vacuum sealed, so it's going to kind of self-load. Once you put this backwater in here, you don't even have to push it down. Okay, so let's see if we can get this on camera. Put the syringe right into the top of the vial, and you're going to see it go down. Okay, see, that's just loading right in there. Alright, and now sometimes you'll get air bubbles in there. That's okay. A little trick, if you want to, doesn't really matter, but you can twist the top off if you want, and then the air bubbles will dissipate. Sometimes the syringe is a little tight, but see, I just twisted it off a little bit, and then you can twist it back on. Now, this is in liquid form. Okay, now people say take 30 minutes to let it dissolve. For me, it's almost, it does it in minutes. It doesn't take long at all. People will tell you that peptides are very fragile, that they have to be shipped cold, you know, everything like that. They are really more resilient than people say. Okay, so you don't want to shake it if you don't have to, but you can roll it around a bit, you know, just like this, kind of get everything moving so the powder dissipates into that liquid. But I mean, this is done. It is in liquid form now, and that's it, you know. So you're going to want to take your supplies and just close that, dispose of it correctly. But this is ready for researching now. Okay, so this is ready to go in the refrigerator. It's all done. This is the same as you would get from a compound pharmacy, except it's not compounded with B12 or niacinamide, anything like that. This is pure terzepatide with FDA standard purity, and it's ready for research now. So you can put it in the fridge, you can begin researching. And I just want to say, with this bacteriostatic water, we've still got, you know, 2 milliliters left over in here. And like I said, this is a self-healing top. So for the bacteriostatic water, you are going to want to keep this at room temperature because it can be used again. Okay, so if you have more things you want to research, more things you want to reconstitute, you can use this over. Okay, they also say this lasts about a month. This is also per your own risk tolerance. You can go online and research some more about it, but you can use it over a month and it's still sterile. It still has that preservative in it. So it's all up to you. I mean, it's a lot of freedom here with the researching, and you get to decide what's best for you. But this is good for a month for a beginning researcher, and you can save the bacteriostatic water at room temperature. Now you're gonna, essentially you got the freeze-dried powder form out of the freezer. It could have been sitting there for who knows how long. You can store it for a long time. But once you reconstitute it, which means once we add the bacteriostatic water and turn it into this liquid and make it ready for researching, you're going to want to put this in the refrigerator, and it's going to last also, as per your risk tolerance, 1 to 3 months. So somebody who would be taking a 2.5 milligram dose of terzepatide, this is going to last 1 month because there's 10 milligrams, and 2.5 milligrams 4 times, once a week researching, this is gonna, it's gonna add up to 10, and that's going to be 1 month of terzepatide for you. And everything in this video is $55, so it's a great freedom. You can decide how much bacteriostatic water you want to put into whatever milligram of peptide you have. So this is very simple. So if you're on a 2.5 milligram per week researching schedule, you're going to take a syringe, okay, and you're going to pull it up to 25 units. So whenever it's 1 milliliter of water to 10 milligram peptide, 2.5 milligram dose is going to be 25 units on a syringe. And I can help anybody who needs that. There's peptide calculators online where you put the 10 milligram or whatever strength peptide into the calculator with how many milliliters of water you added to it and what dose you want it to be, whether it's 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 7.5, 10, and it's going to show you exactly how many units you need to put in a syringe for your dose. So whenever you are ready to research with it, I'm going to pull this out of the fridge. You're ready terzepatide, ready for research, and it's in liquid form, and you are just going to say this is somebody's first time researching. You're going to do it just like we did before. Turn it upside down, and this is a smaller syringe than what we used before, so it might take a little bit longer just to get the liquid in there, but you're just going to pull it to 25, okay? It'll drip in there a little bit. Sometimes I'll pull it a little bit past 25 and then push it back in just to make sure there's no air. And there it is. That is first dose of terzepatide for someone who's just starting researching. Okay, and you can do that once every week. And if you are on trying to research, with 5 milligrams a week, then you'll pull it up to 50 units, which would be all the way down here. So that's where you can see, once you get into bigger dosing with your researching, that you want to add a little bit less water to these peptides to make it more concentrated. So say you've got a 30 milligram vial instead of 10, you don't want to add 3 milliliters of water, which would have been all the water that's in here, because it's going to be a lot of liquid that you've got to pull out for researching. So you could do 2 milliliters, you could do 1.5, and like I said, there's calculators to help with all that. I'm here to help you. Just ask me and we can figure it all out, but I have faith in you. This is easy. It's a lot of freedom involved with it, and it's just great. You save money. You get to dose up whenever you want to, If you feel like something's working for you, you don't have to jump from 2.5 milligrams to 5 milligrams, your second month of researching. So that is about it for reconstituting a peptide. You just add water pretty much. It's as easy as that. So thanks for watching. Anybody has any questions, just shoot me a message. Have a great day.